Okay, so this video is move off hand. I've already done the back up and come forward. So he lets me grab him, pick the halter shank up off his nose, make sure he settles a minute. And then the first thing I got to do is pivot. So I get in position. So my body is off to his side there, 90 degrees to him. Here's my prep. Make sure he waits on that prep. Count it out. You can see he really looked at it and I felt him move a little bit. So I'm going to turn off because he flinched a little bit, so I can turn on again and have him not flinch.
The prep is one of the most overlooked parts of communication. The prep tells me whether he's balanced. Sensitive isn't enough. He has to be sensitive and still wait on me. Sensitive horses often do more than you ask. They move before you ask. They move farther than you ask. They move faster than you ask. That's not softness. That's a lack of balance. The first thing I want to do is make a horse sensitive. The next thing I want to do is balance that sensitivity. That's an ongoing conversation for the rest of the horse's life.
So there, he's really waiting and watching. Now just watch how slow I start to move my hand. There's 1001, 1002, 1003. So he moved within the time frame. So I just backed off a little bit. I'm going to hold right there and turn it off. So everything is very robotic. That's the only way you can really teach, is be very robotic so that you can collect data. Turn on, have him wait, and watch how slow my hand starts. And this is following a feel, right? I got nothing on the lead shank right now, right? There's nothing on his nose, no contact. And he's following that feel because I'm pivoting around there just like the second hand on a clock. And he's going around there real steady. And I'm going to stop him right here. Watch my hand. Nothing. Oh, hold. I got a little bit of pressure on his lead shank because he's backed into me a little bit. So I'm going to start to push and then release when he comes off and hold again. So there's nothing on my left hand. There's slack in line. He's waiting on the right hand. Turn off my right hand. Let go of my left hand. That's how slow you want to go to teach, right? And it's how slow you have to go to teach one that's this wild. That's why it's so fun to work a wild one, because it makes you really good with your pressure. Horses that are dull and numb to pressure makes us bad with our pressure. So I'm going to chill on that side because he done everything. He waited for me. I had to work on it a little bit. He moved early and he moved with zero resistance from his head. So he lets me grab him, pause, pick that up off his nose, step into position, pause, turn on my prep, and pause. You can see he starts moving a little bit, but he's thinking about it. I'm just going to wait for him to settle. And if he don't settle, I'm just going to connect to him.
When he won't settle, I have to connect to him and have the conversation. That shows me he's still thinking about leaving instead of waiting on the prep. So I stay with the movement and keep the pressure on until he connects to that feel. Once he connects to the feel, I can use that feel to guide him and eventually ask him to stop by taking the command away. That's how he learns that running away isn't working. The answer isn't to leave. The answer is to connect and follow the feel.
Now that I got him connected to my hand by going around there, I'm going to come around so you can see and watch me stop. So I'm going to push and stop. Nothing with my right hand, just hold for 4 seconds. Like, see, there's nothing here, nothing on the push. Turn off that hand, turn off that hand. Yeah, it's so important to go slow, guys, when you're being robotic and teaching. And they're so easy. Like, I got time to think about every one of my aids one at a time. There's the prep. Make sure there's no contact on his nose. Nose down a little bit. There we go, nose down. Make sure there's nothing there. Hold that for 4 seconds. Here's the prep and start. And he moves really early. So now I can stay in the push and have a conversation. So just keep him moving. Keep my hand nice and steady. Making sure there's nothing on my right hand. He's not pulling on me. Oh, he's kind of he stopped right there. So now that's what I was looking for. Now I got to build my taps until he scoots a little bit, not into me.
Up to this point, he's been showing resistance through flight. Now he's switched over to fight. Instead of leaving, he's starting to lock up and brace against the lesson. That's why the taps are so important. The taps help me balance out those two instincts. If I don't have enough sensitivity, I can't create balance. And if I don't have balance, I don't have control.
Now I'm going to start again and follow on all the way around and make sure he don't stop, because my hand didn't stop, he did. Because that's the only thing that's going to happen right here is horses, they're either going to run away from that pressure, or they're going to lean on it. Forward. There we go.
It's important to understand that when he went into fight mode, he not only resisted movement, he got way stronger on my halter shank, resisting the control of my joystick.
So I found a little blockage right there. Forward. There we go. So that's what I mean about have a conversation with them from move off the hand. You know, the very first thing you want to do is get them sensitive. The very next thing you want to do is balance them out. That's an ongoing thing forever. They got to wait on us when we prep them, right? You can see them thinking about leaving, because that wait causes our horses to stand still until they're asked to move. It teaches our horses to only move as fast as we ask them to move. It teaches them to be willingly guided, you know, so they're not trying to go to the barn or to a friend the whole time and they're wanting to go left and we'll pull them on the right rein the whole time just to get them to go straight, like a car with a bad wheel. I'm going to prep and start. 1001, 1002. There we go. So, oh, he kind of leaned into me, so I'm going to build that tap again. Jump at him a little bit.
I use the jump at him technique to represent another alpha horse. It adds a little more presence to the correction and helps create the sensitivity I'm looking for without having to dramatically increase my tap pressure. Once I get that movement, it's important that I stay in the conversation long enough for him to settle back down. I don't want the lesson to become about the taps. I want the lesson to stay about following the feel. The taps create the sensitivity. The feel creates the understanding. When he locks up, I stay with the movement a little longer each time until he finds the answer. The answer is always the same. Wait on the prep, follow the feel.
I got a good chew on him, so I'll check it out. So now I'm going back to the check. Let him have the break and start. There we go. Now he just got to go one full circle.
Right here, all I'm looking for is one complete circle with the same softness and understanding. That's it. He waited on the prep, he followed the feel, and continued the movement until I asked him to stop. The first thing I want to do is make them sensitive. The next thing I want to do is balance out that sensitivity. That's an ongoing conversation for the rest of the horse's life. In the next lesson, we'll continue building on that foundation and take another step towards a willing partner. For more understanding, grab your free leadership guide below.